Hi everyone, it's been a while since I've done one of those empties. One, because, it takes me time to finish certain things, but two, because I had no internet. I would probably have mentioned it in one or two of my previous videos, but effectively I had a period of time at home where my Wi-Fi just wouldn't work, and because I always edit my videos and upload them at home, I just ended up not being able to put out any content. So internet is fixed at last and we're back. So probably quite a few videos coming your way. Before we start, I'll just do the quick. Well, I'm not wearing any earrings. I'm wearing my Cartier Pasha, my Cartier Panthère, and my Cartier Clash. That's the jewelry today. And my top is from Sezane. That's it. My makeup is really minimal because I had a super early work meeting. Well, yeah, let's get started. This month is quite interesting because I have makeup empties. So first thing I have is this MAC Marrakesh. You guys know that this is my signature lipstick. I absolutely love it. I like colors, I like playing with things, but it's very rare for me to say that something is my signature. MAC Marrakesh is it. So it's all gone, it won't roll anymore, but I love it so much that I will just dig this out and put it in a pot to use it. I'm that committed. But I obviously have a backup of that. Matter of fact, I have, I believe, 3 backups. I have this one, which is in my room. I have one in my Goyard bag, and I have one in my work bag. That's how much I love it. It's the only lipstick in my entire collection that I have multiples of, and that tells you a lot. Once I found this, I was just, this is it for me. I bought the first one. I did not buy the other ones because when you have 6 empties of recyclable packaging from MAC, you can take them to a MAC boutique and then you can get a lipstick for free. You can either get a lipstick or get an eyeshadow. I never get the eyeshadow, but because I had quite a few makeup products from MAC and some of them had expired, I ended up having quite a few of these 6 items, and that's how I got my other ones. So I will put this into a pot, and it is one of my holy grail products. I think I had filmed a video on my holy grails. I will have to dig it out and then show it to you and link it in the comments or in the description box. The second product is also in my holy grail. It's the Bobbi Brown Corrector in Deep Peach. This is the one thing that, even if I'm not wearing any makeup at all, I would put under my eyes, and I would immediately look healthy. I would immediately look great. Simple. This is something that is not a concealer. It actually corrects the darkness. I happen to get a lot of darkness when I don't sleep well. So for example, yesterday I had a super long night and an early start. You could tell I didn't sleep, but I just put a little bit of that and then it fixes it. There is a tiny bit left here, which will be used up by tomorrow. So I thought I would still have this video in the video because I don't want to hold on to that forever, and also because this is the pot that I'm going to use when depotting my MAC lipstick. As you would expect, because this is also in my holy grails, I already have a backup of it. I have, a matter of fact, 2 more backups of this. So it's funny because for my holy grail lipstick I have 3 backups. One of them is, actually all of them are being used because I need to have it all the time. And this one, I also have 3 backups. One of them I had already started using for the simple reason that this used to be in my travel bag. Matter of fact, I actually might be doing a very exciting project in another country. I'm still deciding, but who knows? Maybe for the first time in 3 years, I will have a proper business packing video. It's in Dubai, so that's why I still have to decide whether I want to go or not. But if I decide to go, I will film a packing video. Then another thing I have finished is this Refi eyebrow. Is it the Brow Sculpt? I forgot what it's called. It's probably the Brow Sculpt. I already talked about it. I said that it's one of those brands that I had my doubts because it was just an influencer, but she ended up putting a lot of work in it. You only need a little bit of this product in your eyebrows and then it works. This is done. It got really sticky and gloopy. I had removed the stopper, so I have actually used it as much as possible. And I am currently using the second one of this. That's what I used this morning, and I really like it. To be completely honest, I don't think I'm going to repurchase it just because I feel like it tends to become sticky. So what I would do is that I will continue using my second tube of this for the rest of the year because it really lasts you a long time. Then when I'm done with it, I'm going to buy the equivalent from Anastasia Beverly Hills just because I really like Anastasia's products, but I don't see the point in buying one more eyebrow product when I know that my current tube of this will last me at least 6-7 months. It's gotten so bright, but I don't mind, you know, because we've had quite a bit of bad weather, and you'd hope we'd finally get some spring. So I don't mind that this light straight up my face makes me look pale. That's life. The next batch of products are face products. First thing is this Ease Up in 2 Minds facial cleanser. So this is meant to be for combination skin. That's why it's called in 2 Minds. It has salicylic acid, witch hazel, etc. Now, for several months, I was not using any of these kind of soapy type of cleansers. I was just using those gel cleansers. But then I had finished one, and then there was a period of time where I had a few random spots, and I usually don't get a lot of spots. I currently have something here. It doesn't show, I just feel it under my skin, a sort of inflammation, as if I had bumped my skin. But there was a week where I had a few spots, and then I'm not sure whether it was because I was bored with my gel and I decided to use this. But anyway, I started using it and then I said, it doesn't feel like the usual. And then I remembered I've had it for a long time. Now, this is something you're supposed to have for 12 months. I had this small bottle, then I had the big bottle. And once I used up most of the big bottle, I had deposited it into this one. So I know for a fact that I've had this for a good 2 or 3 years. Which is why, although I have a teeny tiny bit here, you can't even see it, it's so small, I decided that it's properly expired. I'm going to just wash this bottle and recycle it. Or maybe, no, I was just about to say, maybe this is something I might take with me for my Dubai trip if I go, but I don't want to take a glass thing. I want to, I'm still toying with the idea, but I'm thinking, if I go to Dubai, I want to do a challenge of taking a small carry-on for a week and a half, or whatever the duration of the very first business trip. Because if I do it, I'm going to have to go there quite regularly. That would be a very nice challenge. The other challenge is also what I'm going to pack clothes-wise, because I realized that over the past 3 years, my wardrobe kind of, you know, there is wear and tear. And I ended up buying quite a few things that were comfortable, but I also ended up editing my wardrobe, which means that I really don't have many things and I don't have many business formal things. So I might need to start shopping, but we'll do that later. One thing at a time. Next face product I have is the LMS Pro Collagen Cleansing Balm. That's the yellow cleansing balm, the very traditional one that everybody raves about. I have used countless tubs of that. It was in my previous empties. I had the big one. This was just the travel size one, and I think I've been using it now for 3 years non-stop. So I really like it. I did not repurchase it just because I wanted to explore something else. You know, if you've been doing this for so long, I love the smell, I love the feel. I have no doubt that I will repurchase it. It was just that I wanted a little break from that. But highly recommend it. One of my favorite products. Then the next cleanser is Clinique Take the Day Off Balm. Again, another cleanser that I have bought for years and years. And again, I'm not saying I will stop buying it. This is definitely something that I'm going to repurchase. I'm just not repurchasing it right now because I'm a bit bored with it. But I will, at the end of the video, as always, show you what my current setup is in my beauty cabinet. You know that this is my happy place. When I open it and I look at it, I just love how everything is set up. I love seeing all my things, and it really brings me joy. So I will show you some of the current products in my routine. Then I finished this Maylynch from the Honey Mod. I had bought this quite some time ago. It is not expired. And I used it as a mask. Normally, you can actually use this as a cleanser too. You just put a little bit and you use it with water. I just find that it's a bit too precious for it to be used as a cleanser. Though I will say that there were some periods of time when I got bored with my cleansers, I would use it as such. But there were only maybe 10 or 12 times. Most of the time it would be just as a mask. It feels like a pudding. It does not dry out because it has a lot of honey in it, which is a humectant. So whether you have it on for 10 minutes or you have it on for an hour, it still remains quite moist on your face, and it doesn't crack or anything. So I enjoyed using that. It does have a bit of, is it salicylic acid? It has enzymes, yeah. So it has enzymes which kind of also help with the texture of the skin. I will not repurchase this anytime soon. I have the problem solver, but to be completely honest, I had been so busy that it has been, I think, a few months since I last used my problem solver. This was just easier because it's less messy, and the problem solver is one that kind of gets dry, etc. So I will probably start using that again. If I travel, I will also take it with me in my travel so that I can use it in the hotel. But yeah, I need to start masking again. I feel that maybe that's why my skin is now a bit more congested. I'm just no more doing as many masks, etc. just because I've just gone through a very intense period, so I just need to get my mojo back. And as with, I had done 1 or 2 reviews of Maylynch shrimp, so I will try to also find that video because it's quite old, and then dig it out for you so you have more details on that. This product from Neod is Sanskrit saponins. I had bought quite a few of these. I think this is my fourth, maybe fourth tube of that. The only reason why this one did not finish is because I had bought 2 big tubes like this. I had finished one. The second one I didn't finish it, and it is not a sterile product, so it only has a 6-month life to it. And the problem is sometimes when I forget about a product, I will leave it for months and then it expires, and this is beyond expired, so I wouldn't want to use it on my face. There is a bit of product left because, you know, this is quite a large tube, so I've gone through that. But I will not repurchase it right now. I think it's easier for me to keep my very simple routine. You will see that even when I refilled my beauty cabinet, I did not buy tons and tons and tons of backups. You will see that compared to the previous empties video, although I added new products, it is still all something that I can see. It's better when I show you, right? I have finished a perfume. This is really a big deal. This is Jo Malone Pomegranate Noir. This was my perfume for the month of March. I'm filming this in April, so yeah, I've already finished it quite a few days ago, right? I really like it, but I have made the decision to not buy any perfume, simply because when we look at my beauty cabinet, you'll see that the entire top 90% of the top shelf is made up of perfumes. I have had some of these perfumes for ages, and I just decided that I'm going to be more disciplined and just use one perfume at a time until I finish it, and then another one, and then another one. The only exception is when I have these small travel sizes. I think I'm going to use quite a lot of my travel sizes because I have these Jo Malone intense cologne, and they are inspired by Arabic perfumes. So if I go to the Gulf, I think they would be very culturally appropriate to have. So maybe in the next few months I might finish some of the small ones, but in the meantime I just feel like I want to have maybe 2 perfumes left. So, and then obviously these would change. So unlike my makeup I wouldn't need to have a signature scent. I don't feel the need to have a signature scent. I like having a scent for a period of time, but I'm not really that fussy about that. Talking about Arab perfumes, I have finished this musk. This is from a brand called Argan Essence. So argan oil, or argan, is a plant that grows in Morocco. It's very, very famous. People use it for all kinds of cosmetics. And when I was in Morocco, I remember back in the days where I had quite a big following, and there were a lot of brands that reached out to me typically to do collaborations. That was before people started getting paid and stuff, right? And I was very picky. If some of you only known me in the past few years, but many years ago when I was in Morocco, I was pretty controversial because I was comfortable doing videos in English, and people hated my guts. They're like, why don't you do videos in Darija? Why don't you do videos in French? And I'm like, I'm putting content out there that I want to watch. And so I remember having tried for a bit, but it was so unnatural, so forced, and I was so sad. And then I decided, no, my channel, my rules. If the audience doesn't like it, it's not like I'm chasing likes. I'm not begging people at the end of every video to like, share, and subscribe and all whatever. So it was I think it was the right decision, because this is really a good creative outlet for me, right? But I remember, so obviously I always I said no quite a lot to most brands, right? Unless I had a real personal connection or something. And I remember the girl who wrote me. So she was Moroccan, she lived in Switzerland, and she had just launched her brand, and it was this one. And I said, yeah, I would love to try the products. I was so proud of her. Like, I think I personally have made the decision to never do something that, never have a business where the business model is selling the Moroccan culture. So effectively, I decided that I will not open a Moroccan restaurant or do something that is related to Moroccan cosmetics or Moroccan decor or kaftan, the outfits, etc. Just because it's my own bias, but I kind of want it as my personal challenge to succeed in something technical, in something linked to my craft, rather than say, I'm going to succeed in something that plays on the fact that I'm Moroccan. You know, it's not a right or wrong thing, because I think it's a very valid way to make a business, right? It's just something that I don't want to do. My sister, on the other hand, is like, we really should do something Moroccan, and I will encourage her, but I just don't do that, right? But I usually am very happy when others do it, and I like to support it when others do it. So I remember how excited I was about this. So this is a very concentrated oil perfume with musk. I had used it when I was in Morocco, and then in the same spirit of me trying, like, you know, even around, I'm really using everything. For me, if something is around and I'm not using it, then I have to reassess. And that kind of really helps with my energy, the energy of the house, the visual clutter, everything. And so I remember having that little, I have a thingy there, here. So this thing, transparent thing, has a collection of little essential oils. And what I had noticed is that there was a time when we had a Muji on the King's Road. And pretty much every time I would go to Muji, I would just get, I like this essential oil. I'd buy it, and so it comes. And then I had these essential oils scattered all over the house. And so one day I said, no, you know, I probably have duplicates, which was true. I put them all in one place, And once I put them in one place, I started realizing that yes, I do have a couple duplicates, that I do have a few things that are old. And so having them in one place and seeing them encouraged me to only use one or two at a time. And so I started using the lavender one to go to sleep. I used the purifying one or the spiced one when it was winter. And with this thing, what it means is that I will get to the point where I probably in a few months or maybe a year, I will have one or two essential oils, which means that when I go out shopping, I would buy one essential oil, for example, for the season and use it for 3 months and finish it. And I love that prospect, that idea. I'm not tossing anything, but I love how things are evolving towards that. There was a time where I couldn't fit all of my essential oils onto that thing. Right now, all of them fit. And that's a great thing. And so I was using the musk one because it's so warming. We had a very cold season and I just felt like it was the right self-care gesture to have. The last bits are all body care in a way. So I'm going to go through them very quickly just because they're not that... Some of them might be interesting for you, but they're not all that exciting. So the Waken mouthwash, I have that in almost every empty video. This one is the peppermint. I like it because it uses natural ingredients. Yeah, I have already a backup of that. I am now much better at like looking at the bottom of this, and when it gets very low I would buy one just because I don't feel like having 2 bottles sat in my bathroom. So I'm better at the just-in-time kind of replenishment. Similarly, this is the TP interdental brushes. I'm not the best at dental hygiene. I brush my teeth, that's a given, of course, but I don't really floss. So when I go to see my hygienist, every time she asks me to buy stuff. And the last time that I saw her, she was like, you really need to get these interdental brushes because since you don't like flossing, that's less tedious for you or whatever. So I bought them, and actually she was right because I went from not flossing, I know it sounds gross, to actually using these. I don't use them every day, I'm gonna be honest. I still use them maybe 3 times a week or something, and that's mostly because I tend to use them at night, and I have sometimes very long days where I barely feel like brushing my teeth. So one of the things I'm thinking about, and I discussed it with her, is to make it work for my lifestyle. Maybe it's better that I actually use the brushes in the morning. So I might do that. But anyway, I had tried quite a few things, and then I ended up buying these TP brushes. I really liked them. I wasn't very happy because they're single-use plastic. I bought a few boxes of this, and then I started experimenting with other options. I experimented with a bamboo option. That didn't work. I experimented with some toothpicks. They were also plastic, but they were more of them in a single box. I didn't like these at all. I still have the box almost untouched. And then I found that this same brand does some of these brushes they're still single use, they're still in a disposable plastic, but actually they have these bigger, sturdier brushes that you can use multiple times before tossing it. So I did buy these as backup. So right now I'm working my way through these. I think I have maybe 2 more of these little boxes, and they usually come in this very nice travel size. But as soon as I finish these, and maybe I'll try to finish the ones that I really don't like, otherwise I will just try to recycle them as a pot. Then I will move to the ones that come in the individual thing, and I will try them. And if I like them, I will stick to that. I will show you them when we go to the bathroom. Next is this Penhaligon's Blenheim Bouquet. This is just body lotion. It's a very, very old body lotion that I bought soon after moving to my place. It's one of those... I think the week before I moved to my place. If you remember my London moving vlogs, it took me 4 weeks between the time when I set foot in London and the time when there's a whole like rugby team walking. Very weird. It took me 4 weeks between when I moved to London and when I actually moved to my flat. And that was a moment filled of, it was a very emotional time for me, because I remember I was so broken from Brussels. I had a lot of hope for London. I wanted a new life, etc. And I remember how excited I was about that new life. And this was one of the things that I had bought. I was saying, you know, my apartment is going to have the best energy. It's going to be luxurious. It will be small. It's a cocoony thing. But I wanted to feel that I had a home. Whereas when I was in Brussels, it was just a place where I went to sleep twice a week, right? Because I was always in hotels. So I remember the very first weeks right before I moved, and a good 3 to 4 months after I moved, I was just buying things. It wasn't hoarding. It was really, how do you call it? Nesting? I could refer to it as nesting. That was one of the things I bought. I bought quite a few of these. I finished all of them. This was the last one. There is only a tiny bit left here, but it's old, so I am tossing it. I'm not very big about body lotions, though I need to get better, because I do get a bit of eczema. It's a very weird thing. I get eczema only on my left hand side. So if I'm very stressed, I have an eczema patch that will flare up here. I have a permanent eczema patch on my left foot, and also every now and then, if I'm super dry because I never moisturize, or I'm stressed, I will also have an eczema patch here. I have a small, tiny dermatitis spot on my right calf, but that one is not proper eczema. It's super tiny. But it's funny how my body is quite polarized. Then I have this salt, Westlab Recover 100% natural bath salts with white willow, eucalyptus, and arnica. So these are just Epsom mineral salts. They're very inexpensive. I don't think they're inexpensive to begin with, but I don't think I paid full price for them. And that was because, if you remember, I have all my musculoskeletal issues, and I had times where I would go to the physio. On the physio table, it would be so painful that I'd be all sweating, and then I would be in pain for 2 days after. And so I remember I would go to the physio, and then I would just have a warm bath and put these in. So I finished them. I'm not sure that I have more Epsom salts. Maybe that was the last pack. But yeah, that's why I used them for. And then I have 2 deodorants. This one is Beyonce. This is a Japanese company that I absolutely love. I've only seen them in the last few months. I used them. This is the second one that I had. And then I discovered that they have a spray that is not in an aerosol, so that's what I bought. I think I got a couple of those. I always try to have deodorant. I'm one of those people who are really paranoid about smelling. I think it's something that happened in my teenage years, when I remember once my mom told me that I smelled because I was wearing a shirt. What happened is that ever since, I never ever wear polyester. So that was over 25 years ago, and I still would not wear polyester. That's why I'm so picky about my clothes. And I know that what do you call it? Synthetic fabrics have evolved since then, 25 years probably. They have evolved, there is better quality, etc. Mentally, emotionally, I'm still unable to wear polyester. So it makes my shopping quite difficult. But the other thing is I also recognize that biologically, I'm a person who processes emotions through sweat and through body temperature. So if I'm going to be in a tough situation, when I'm talking to people, when I'm doing a presentation, anything, people shake, people freak out, people have knots in their stomach. I simply burn. Like my body temperature rises quite high. If you were to touch me or like put a thermometer, you would find a fever. It's very temporary. It's crazy. But that's why sometimes when I used to film videos, at the end of the day, you'd find my face all shiny. That's also another physical reaction to stress and thinking. When I think a lot and stress a lot, my body temperature rises. I sweat a lot, and I also start getting shiny. I'm not shiny on weekends. And so when I do client calls or interviews or whatever, I always feel super self-conscious because I can physically feel the water coming up. I don't mind, but I keep one of these at work. In the once I discovered the thing that doesn't have the propeller gas, that's what I bought, and I keep one in my bathroom. And the one that I keep at work actually was to replace this one. So I had this little tiny one, and this is what I had kept at work. Because I always try to have something like a little touch-up kit, and I will definitely need at some point to review my touch-up kit at work, because I now start going to the office a bit more, and it's honestly been quite useful to have these little things to touch up. This small one is from Mitchum, and I bought it when I was at Henley, because I remember I went to an event there and it was so hot and I was sweating and I was self-conscious by midday, so I just went to a Boots and bought it. So yeah, this is everything. I obviously made sure that it's a long half-hour video because I know that I haven't posted in ages. So I'm now, just to close this video, I'm going to take you to my bathroom for the sacrosanct tour of my beauty cabinet. Welcome to my beauty cabinet, my favorite place. Let's start here. That's what I said earlier when I mentioned that I do have quite a few perfumes. I have a few that I had started, but right now I'm focusing on one. I will show you it in my bathroom. And these small Jo Malone Cologne Intense are what I would be taking if I decide to travel to the Gulf. I cheekily went to a Sainsbury's the other day and I saw that they have this. Honestly, they didn't even have it in the right slot. I immediately recognized the color and I took it. So now I actually have 3 of this Flamingo Beach. And I know it makes me sound like a hoarder, but you know how I had that video on my Holy Grail products, and I already told you I will link it. You notice how I had the 3 backups of MAC, the 3 backups of the Deep Peach from Bobbi Brown. So I also have 3 backups of that. I'm not going to use it immediately because I want to use up a few of my nail polishes. Granted, I really haven't been painting my nails. So I will probably, in the next days, I will probably be just using the Nails Ink nail protector just to strengthen them a bit because they've been breaking. This is the exciting bit for skincare. If we exclude this deodorant, the only reason I have this deodorant here is because normally it should fit here, but I have a cleanser. So let me show you the cleanser that I'm using currently. I bought the Fresh Soy Face Cleanser. This is a very famous product. It's been around for ages. I'm pretty sure I've been hearing YouTubers talk about it for a good 5-6 years. But for some reason, I've never bought it. And so as I was replacing my morning cleanser, I just said, you know what? I could go through the classic things, but I could also just, use something that I've been curious about for ages. So that's why I have it in here. It's a bit tall. That's why I'm not putting it in there. This is the non-spray. This is the spray version of this deodorant, and it doesn't have propeller gas. Actually, it looks smaller, so it fits in my work kit. And that's my mouthwash that I said I always stock up on. So let me put these in here. Maybe I'll just leave even the deodorant in here. That's the little toothpicks that I mentioned. I said I have a couple more of these here. I tried these. I hated them. And in here are the more reusable versions. It's the same brand as the small ones that I used. And so I will see whether I like these eventually. My day creams are here. It's the same as last time. This is new. Pharmacy Clean Green Clean. So this is what I use now to replace my Take the Day Off Balm by Clinique. The rest you've seen, and this is also new. So I just felt that this soy cleanser might not necessarily be satisfying every day. It's very, very mild. It's very gentle on your skin. So, sometimes I get bored with that. That's why I have this one that has some AHA, BHA, so you feel a bit of exfoliation. I only would use this once or twice a week, that's it. But this is my little happy corner. That's what it looks like. Yeah, let's see what it looks like in the next video. And for now, take care, guys.